Okay, first step, your face is cleansed, tone, moisturized, and you're going to put your primer on your face. This one is similar. And if you go out during the day, make sure you have SPF. But you see, I'm spreading it on, but now I'm also patting it in. Okay? Pat, 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 pat. And this is supposed to be a gripping primer. Okay? So don't rub it, just pat it. So you pat that into your skin. And then you just let it sit, okay? Before you do anything, let it sit. Then you're gonna do your correcting concealer before you do foundation, okay? And you should have the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and I think this is Deep Cinnamon. Is that the right color? Deep Cinnamon. It has a little bit of orange pigment. So that's going to color correct, because I have some darkness under my eyes. So I'm going to place that under my eyes. Okay? And then anywhere else that you have any discoloration or hyperpigmentation. My tube is almost gone. But you're going to put it up there and then you're going to leave it alone. I also do a little bit around my mouth, on the corners, and then go around my mustache. Yeah. Okay. Then we leave that alone. Okay. Okay, while my concealer and blush is setting, I like to do my brows before I do anything else, okay? I don't have the same exact product that you have, but you have a spoolie on the end, and then you have your pencil on the other side. So brush all the hairs up into the same direction. Brush it up. Then you're going to take your pencil, and you are going to, I squinch my face up so I can see where my arch is. I've just always done that. So here, go from the head of the brow up to where the arch is and stop. And just outline and stay within the natural shape of your brows. You don't want them to be too thick. I go right there, and then I go down to the tail. And then I'm just going to take light strokes and fill it into my likeness, just depending on how heavy or how dark you want it. And then you take the spoolie side and you're going to brush it through. That helps blend out the product and get the hairs going back in the right direction. And then you can go back and add more product if you like. The front of your brow should be at the corner of your eye. Okay? And then whenever you add product, go back, brush it through, brush it through. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Now, for your eyes, to set your brows, you are going to get a spoolie brush. Or I think you have a spoolie brush, or you could just use the end of this. But this is just, oops. See, these spoolie brushes. And then you have your e.l.f. brow lift. Okay, you're going to take it in the pot and get some product on the brush. Hopefully this works because this brush is acting up. You don't need too much. You're just going to take it, press it onto your brow, and lift it up. Lift, 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 okay? Lift, lift. All right, I had too much product. And you see, there's some hairs that are sticking up. You're just going to take the side of your brush and go like this. And that's going to lay the hairs down. Okay? That's how you do your brow. Oh, and if you want to, I don't do this all the time, you can take the same concealer that you use, that you have sitting on your face right now, and take an angle brush. Do I have an angle brush? Okay, I don't think I have an angle brush, but I do have like a straight flat brush. That works fine too. But you should have an angle brush, and just get a little bit of product, and you're just going to clean up underneath and on top of your brow. Or you can use your foundation. Either one. Now you don't have to do this, but this is the full beat method, okay? I'm showing you the full beat, so any steps you don't want, you can take away, okay? The ones that I say are optional, you can take those away if you're just trying to do a chill little look, okay? See, my brow is carved out. Ooh, this brow look good. Ooh, And then you just take your brush, the same brush you used to apply it, and you can just blend that out. And you don't have to stress about this because you're going to put on foundation, and that'll help blend it out even more, okay? And then this one that's underneath your eye, you can start blending it down onto your lid because that can help as a primer for your lid, okay? So that is the brow situation. Dang, that's a good brow. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a brush, a clean makeup brush. Do I have something? I guess it don't matter. I'll take a clean, fluffy makeup brush like this, or even like this, and I'll just take that and blend it out. Because sometimes you'll do this step and you don't want to wear foundation. Okay? Boom. And your brow is done. All right, I'm going to go do the other brow. All right, so you have this sitting on your face. Now you can take a brush to blend out your concealer. So a flat brush like this or a foundation brush is what I like to use to blend out my concealer because it doesn't pick up a lot of product, okay? Because this is just your color correcting concealer. So I'm just going to pat. And we don't have to blend it out too much because this is our color corrector. So we want it to stay there so that when we put on our foundation, we have nice, even skin tone. Right? And the reason why we let it sit is to let it dry, and that gives us more coverage. So we're just blending out. And sometimes during the week, I just do concealer. I won't even put on foundation, and I'll do this step. And then set it with powder. And if you don't want to color correct, you don't have to. And sometimes foundation will do the thing. It'll do its job and be enough sometimes. But again, this is for the full beat. Okay, that's what we're going for. The full beat. Okay, that looks good. Yes, I think so. Now, I am going to take... Now, if you have oily skin, you can do this step. You can take the loose setting powder that is your complexion. And where's my sponge? You can take a puff like this, or I believe you have triangle puffs. Either one is fine. I'm just going to use this one because it's dirty, just to show you. So if you have any oily areas, take your puff, put it in your powder, right? But don't put it straight on your face. Tap off that excess, okay? You know, make sure you have it on a good area and tap off the excess and then press it into the back of your hand, okay? And then you just hit the oily areas. So mine is my nose and right here on my cheeks and on my chin. And you just press it into your skin and my forehead. Right? So wherever you feel like you are oily, just don't put anything underneath your eyes. So it's my T-zone for me and my cheeks. But I'm not putting anything underneath my eyes because you don't want to use too much product. Everything that we do, it's a lot of steps, but just use a little bit of product, okay? Because you can always add more, but you can't take away. Right? And remember, you pat it out on your hand before you apply it. That warms it up, okay? And kind of melds it together before you put it on your face, okay? All right. All right, now that we have that, we are going to do our foundation. And where is it? Okay. So we have the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This is matte and poreless. Your skin will be matte, okay? I will put this on the back of my hand or put it on a little makeup palette thing. Just trying to wipe it off. Okay, so what I do is I take it and I'll put some on my little palette. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is too much. That's too much. You don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Let me just get that extra. But it just depends on how full coverage you want, because you can build this up. Okay? Then I take this dense foundation brush. You see how it's nice and packed? You should have something like this. And you're going to take your setting spray, right? And you can spray it on your face or you can spray it on the brush. Okay, so this gets the benefits of the setting spray into your foundation, right? So you should use your e.l.f. setting spray. I think yours is green, right? And then we're going to take that product right there, and then you're going to stamp this on your face. As you can see, a little goes a long way. I probably won't even need to use all of this. I use a lot. So I'll probably build mine up. This can go like a medium to full coverage. So I'm starting down here, and then I'm going to bring it up. Okay? And if need be, bring it underneath your chin because you want it to blend. You don't want to see any line of demarcation. And right now you're just pushing it into your skin. And I haven't touched my nose yet. Don't get to your nose yet. Don't put any underneath your eyes. Okay? We're just going around the perimeter and the center of our face. Around our mouth. Nothing underneath our eyes because that's where our concealer is going to go. And we don't want to put too much product underneath our eyes. And then our concealer get cakey and be cracking and be gross. So that little bit left, I took that and I'll put it on my nose. All right. And you see I haven't swiped anything. I just pushed it into my skin. Okay. Push it in. And that gets the job done. Okay. And if you want to, you can go back with your a sponge, if you have a blending sponge. And if you want to just kind of smooth everything out, sometimes brushes can leave some marks, but I don't have any problems with that. You shouldn't. So you should be good on that front. Okay, now we are going to do concealer, and we are going to be using our highlighting concealer. You can go back again with your color correcting sealer on this step as well. So you're going with the concealer that is a little bit lighter than your complexion. I feel like mine is super light. But even if it's like super light like this one, I have the shade medium beige. You know, again, we're highlighting. So I'm just going to put a little bit in the corner, and then I see that my concealer is kind of caking up. So I'm just taking it out of my crease with this little brush. Okay. That color correcting concealer. All right, I'm just going to do a little bit in the corner and on the outer portion because we're just highlighting, okay? And then you want to do a little bit on the bridge of your nose in the middle, a dot on your nose, dot on your forehead, dot on your chin. Just a little bit, okay? If you want to do more, you can. If you want to do real extra, you can. But we're going to let that sit. I don't think you have a cream bronzer. So we're going to let this sit for a little bit. All right, so while this is sitting, if you had a cream bronzer, that's when you can go ahead and bronze. But we don't have that, so we're going to do our blush. And you do have the e.l.f. Camo Blush, liquid blush. This is really pigmented, and I think you have this color, Bombshell. I think that's what it's called. Bronze Bombshell. It's like a brown terracotta orange color. This is very pigmented. You only need a few dots, okay? So you're going to go the corner of your eye, boom, and then do one above it, and then do one below it, okay? Same on the other side. Corner of your eye, one above it, one below it, okay? It's not exact. I put it too close. It's okay. All right, and then you're going to take your blush brush, okay? And then you're going to blend that out. And you can take it down to the chin. Okay, and then same thing on the other side. I would put on a little more blush, but this is you, okay? And we're taking it all the way to the hairline. So you see it gives that lift, like a little swoop. So like a little swoop C or candy cane. Okay. That's there. If you want to add more, you can go back and add more, but we'll leave it at that. All right. Now I'm going to go back with that same concealer brush that I had before, if I can find it. And I'm going to start blending out my concealer. Okay. So this type of brush, or if it looks like this, or even smaller, that is perfectly fine. This is just a concealer brush that I had from a kit, but whatever works. I'm going to start down on my chin and just blend that out. Just use a little bit, okay? Because we want it to blend. See? It's blending. Then we're going to go to our forehead. Just a little bit. It's blending and it's giving that little bit of highlight where the light is hitting. Then on the nose, I'm taking the top of the brush and stippling that down the bridge of my nose. Okay, that's already blended. We only used a little bit. And then we're going to do the tip of the nose. And boom, we still accomplished our goal. We didn't use a lot of product. Have a nice little highlight. Then we're going to take our brush and we are going to blend underneath our eyes. Okay. And then you're going to take it up to the same place where we took our blush, okay? And then I'm gonna put some on my lid too. The excess on the brush, that's gonna be my primer. Okay, we're just patting, not pat it. And see, it blends nicely with the brush, with the blush. A nice blend, okay? It looks a little jarring. It's okay. We're going to have powders. We're going to set it, and we can use our powders to tone it down if necessary. But again, take that concealer up. Okay? And if you do blend it and bring it down, you're not going to bring it past this nostril. Okay? And I'm making sure I don't have too much sitting in my creases. All right, take that up. All right, and bring some of that concealer onto your lid. All right, and again, we're gonna let it sit just for a little bit longer. Okay, we let it sit a little bit, right? So now we're gonna set underneath our eyes. So you have a loose powder that is close to your complexion. So you should get a brush that looks like something like this or this or something like this, okay? So we're gonna get a little bit of powder, similar to what we did with the puff. So this is the color that matches your complexion, okay? Or is close to it. So we did highlight. And then we're just gonna tap off the excess, but we're gonna kind of blend it around. My brush is looking like it's trying to give up the ghost. To even it out on the brush. And then you're gonna take that and you're just gonna tap lightly underneath your eyes. Where we did the concealer. So we're setting that in. So again, dip your brush into your loose powder that is similar to your skin tone. Okay, getting off some of that excess and then tapping it off in the lid and kind of swirling it around to even it out. And then tap underneath your eye. Okay. And you can even tap on your eyelid to help set your lid as well. But you see how it's just a nice, you know, clean look, right? And then you can take your highlighting powder. I think yours is a little bit lighter. You don't have this one, but you do have one. So you can take your highlighting powder, right? And I like to put it into the lid, shake some out. And then you're gonna take your triangle puff, where's my triangle puff? Okay, here's one. Take your triangle puff and you're gonna put it into that setting powder. Remember, this one is lighter. This is the lighter one. All right, get some on your triangle puff and then you're gonna pat it on the back of your hand. Again, evening it out, and then you're just gonna press it underneath your eye and following where you put that concealer. And just press it. Okay, press it in. And then do the same thing on the other side. All right, press it on the back of your hand before you put it underneath your eye. Help even it out. And then just press underneath your eye where you put that concealer. Okay, look at there. Ooh, baby, snatched. And then you're gonna go back into that powder. You're gonna go to the areas where you highlighted. Your chin, your nose, and your forehead. And then you can even take some off the back of your hand. And we're pressing that in. Okay, pressing that in. All right, if you have some excess in your lid, we don't waste makeup around here. Put it right back. Okay, now you set your highlighter. Okay, now that you set your highlighter, you see you still have some blush, but a little bit of it is gone. Okay, you're gonna take your blush palette and whatever blush is close to the color that you use, you're gonna get that. And you can use the same brush or a different blush brush. I use the same one, just wipe it off a little bit. Get the cream off of there. And then just tap it into my blush. Tap off any excess. And then you don't even have to smile, but I like to, but just go back and just tap where you had the blush before. Okay, just adding that color back. Going up into your hairline, and then that should blend with the powder. Okay, we should have a nice gradient. And then you can also do a little bit on your nose if you want. But yeah, and then now we're gonna go into our bronzer. So you have that bronzing palette. So you wanna use something, it's like a bronzing contour palette. It's just gonna add shape back to your face. So you have a palette, so you can choose the color that works best for you. So you're gonna take a contour brush, something like this that's a little dense, or sometimes they make them angled like this. I think you actually have one like this, so I'll use this one. Take your contour bronzer shade go in your palette. You're gonna go on your chin right here and blend it. Make sure you're blending. All right, we're adding shape and color back to our face. We're gonna go to our cheeks, and when you go to your cheeks, okay, you're gonna blend in the hollows, but you wanna blend up because you want it to lift up your face. So we have that gradient of the concealer, blush, contour, okay? And it don't have to be a lot. With that, blend up, blend up, blend up. I really don't contour around my forehead because I have these bangs, but you can just go around your forehead. And then when you get to your nose, take the brush and squeeze it and just go down the sides of your nose And then around that little tip, the tip of your nose, and just go in and blend that out. We're just adding shape back and dimension back to our face. See, now you can see my nose. Of course, if you want to make your nose look smaller, you can bring it in some, but I like the shape of my nose, so I keep it the way it is. So then you're going to go back with your setting spray, because you've added all these powders now, so that the powders can meld with the liquids. Okay, shake your setting spray, and you're going to spray it over your face. Don't spray too much. Wait, before you spray, hold on. I don't know if you got this, but like a face like setting powders. So something like this. This is Sephora Micro Smooth or Black Radiance Soft One finishing powder. You can get this at Walmart. So you can take this, get a fluffy brush, get a little bit on your brush, like so, like that, and then just blend it. It's all over your face, okay? And I even sometimes go a little bit under my eyes to kind of sweep off any excess. But this is just to make sure that everything is blended. And you're not putting a lot of pressure. It's just a light blend with a nice fluffy brush, okay? So now you have all those powders on your face. Get your setting spray. Get the e.l.f. one. I think yours is green. And you're going to spray your face, but not too much, okay? About 6 to 8 pumps. Okay, maybe 10. Okay, 6 to 10. And you're going to let that dry, or you can use a fan, you know, let that sit. So your face is like really done. Okay, then now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is really easy. I feel like I taught you this before. Where's my palette at? Where's my go-to? Okay, you really need 3 colors, okay, and 3 brushes. So I get well, maybe 4 brushes, but I like to have a dome or dense brush, a blending brush, and I use a transition color. I usually use something that's a little bit orangey brown, and that's gonna go above your crease in a windshield wiper motion, okay? And then you can always go back and add more, but start with a little bit, okay? So you can take a dome brush like this, or a regular blending brush. I just like this one because it covers more space. And you're just gonna go back in a windshield wiper motion. This is above your crease. You see where I'm at? Above the crease. Above the crease. And sometimes I'll even take this and go on my nose like that. And sometimes when I don't want to do a full eyeshadow look, I'll even take the bronzer that I use. So you can take one from your palette and use that in above your crease, okay? Then you're gonna take a blending brush and get a darker shade. So I use this brown color here, and I'm gonna go from the outer inner, but in my crease. You see I'm right there in my eye socket, back and forth, okay? So you can see it's already there. It's already there. So you just get it on your brush and then you blend it, okay? A simple eye look, and I'm going back and diffusing it out so it's not as harsh, okay? And then you can go back with the same brush from before in that same color that was above your crease and then help blend out the edges so it's a nice smooth transition. Boom, okay? Then you want a color for your lid. So you can go matte, you can go glittery. I usually do a matte color on my lid, so something that's kind of close to my skin tone or a little bit lighter, so something like this one or this one. I'm gonna go with the darker one today and just pat that right in all that space on your lid, okay? Right there. You could even use your foundation for this if you want, because this just creates a nice, natural, put together look without doing too much, okay? And then you can just translate it with any colors. You know, if you're using blues and pinks and browns, just always have a transition color that's like similar to your skin tone, and then a darker in the crease, and then a lighter color on the lid or a shimmer. And then For my inner corner, I just take a little brush, or you can just take a smaller shadow brush. I'm gonna take this gold and do my inner corner highlight or tear duct highlight. I'm just gonna put that right there on the tear duct. See? Nice little highlight. Makes your eyes pop. Okay? Nice little highlight. Okay? Simple. Then you're gonna take your mascara before you put lashes on. Don't pump your mascara, whizzle it around like this, because when you pump it, you put air into it, and that can introduce bacteria. So for your mascara, you're gonna go right at the bottom and wiggle it and then sweep up. Because if you get it at the bottom, wiggle it and then sweep up, that's gonna make your lashes look thicker, and then you're not gonna need the eyeliner that you've been using. You don't need it. Because that's to make the lashes, that's what eyeliner is for, to make the lashes look fuller. But if you do that, you'll be good to go. Okay, see? You see the difference? Okay, I'll show you that again. All right, take the mascara at the base of the lash line, wiggle it, and then sweep it up. That's gonna get product up there. You see how thick the lash line looks? And then sweep it up, and then you're just gonna go through and get all your lashes nice and coated. Okay? And I'm gonna bring it close. You see how thick the lash line look? Look at that. And then do your lower lashes. Be very careful because your lower lashes are small. You just kind of wiggle it up there. Just, you know, let it kiss the lower lashes, because you don't want to get mascara on your actual lower lash line. So we just show them the goods and take it away. Not too much. Okay, you see that? Then let your mascara dry and we'll do lashes. Here we go. I don't have a full, this is not a full lash. But when you do your lashes, take it and you're gonna wiggle it like this and get it curved into the shape of your eye. And you have this brush on brush on glue. You only need to put glue on the back part that's going to be on your lashes and a little bit across the top. All right, don't put it on the front, and make sure you get it across the whole lash so that no part of it is sticking up. All right, gonna let that dry a little bit, and this helps it dry faster. Just wave it around. And then you're gonna take it. I like to curve it again, and then I like to put it on the center of my lid, and then I can move it around and get it in place. Am I in the camera? Let me get in the camera. Okay, there we go. So these aren't a full lash, but I just like to line up the center. Right? It's up there, but it's not on. But I can move it around still. Okay? And that's how you adjust it and get it into place. Okay? And then you can squeeze it together with your lashes. You're probably gonna get some mascara and stuff on your hands, but once you finish your makeup, wash your hands. Okay, again, we're gonna get this, gonna get our lash glue, putting some on the back of the strip, just painting it up there, and then on the top, making sure that we have it on the ends, because that's the part that tends to lift. Okay, and the key is, oh, I forgot to curve mine, but you can do that before or after with the glue. But the key is to make sure when you're putting the lash on that you're looking down. So this eye is open, but I'm looking down. All right, and I like to grab it from the ends, go behind your actual lash, put it on the center, and you can adjust it. That one actually went on really well. Ooh, popped up. And the good thing about the lash glue that you have is that you can kind of, if you didn't put enough glue, you can use the brush and add it up there. But yeah, Okay. And then just squeeze it together with your lash. Okay, last thing we gotta do is the lips. Okay, lips is the last thing. So before you do your makeup, put on some lipstick or some chapstick or whatever you need to moisturize your lips. And then I kind of wipe off a little bit. You know, leave a little bit up there, but just wipe it off a little. Take your take your lip liner and you're gonna line your bottom lip lightly. See, I'm doing light, I'm not pressing hard. Then you can go back over it and then line your top lip. Follow your natural line. Lightly, and then just go back over it. Go back over it lightly, that makes it darker. Okay? And then make it as dark as you want. And then to blend it, just don't rub. You just patting it together. Let me see if I got it. Okay, cool. I do got some of the lip glosses you have. There's some in my book bag. Oh, wait, here's another one. All right, so you have the NYX butter glosses. I have a few shades too, so you can layer these. So I'll do these two. So this one is Praline. This kind of matches my natural lip color, so I'll do this on the outside like that, and then press it together. I might need to blend that lip out some more. And then this is Madeline, and put it on the inside because it's lighter. And sometimes glosses mix together, so it helps sometimes to get a lipstick that's similar to these colors. And, oh, as you can see it. Okay. And then to finish off your look, you're going to get this setting spray. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 3-Second Setting Mist. Apparently, it makes your makeup last for 36 hours, but this helps it be non-transferable, okay? So you're going to shake it up. It smells like hairspray, but you're just going to spray it across your face. And make sure you spray it down here, too, where we blended the makeup down so there wouldn't be a line. Oh, I got a little. Okay. So here we go. It might make you cough and choke a little, but your makeup gonna last all day or however long your event is. All right, final look. Simple, easy. That probably took me, let's see what time I started. So I started at 3:10, and with recording, that took me 45 minutes. So you could probably do this in 30 minutes. And then once you get better, you know, you do it more, you can do it in a quicker time. But that's the final look. That's how you use your products and your tools. Okay? All right. Bye. Bye.